Doug Benn is Executive Vice President and Chief Financial Officer for one of the nation's most innovative and successful restaurant companies. The Cheesecake Factory has been honored by Fortune magazine as one of the 100 best companies to work for 3 consecutive years. And Doug has shared his hospitality industry expertise as a Toll School keynoter and Terry Third Thursday speaker. But as he reflects on his 27-year career in the restaurant business, Doug Benn admits that he had no idea things would turn out this way. Those childhood photos of me with my parents were taken in Dover, Delaware, where we lived 3 different times, says Doug. My dad worked for the International Latex Corporation, which made Playtex a household name and later sewed and assembled spacesuits for the first U.S. astronauts. Because of my dad's job, it wasn't until the 10th grade, when we moved to Columbus, Georgia, that my family actually put down roots. My career in the hospitality industry, it was totally unplanned. I just fell into it. The same can be said for Doug's decision to attend UGA. For that, he has former next-door neighbor and fellow Terry alum, Hart Odom, to thank. Hart's entire family went to Georgia, says Doug, who remembers going over to Hart's house on a fall Saturday and seeing his father in a highly agitated state. "Why is your dad yelling at the radio?" I asked. "Oh, it's the Georgia game," said Hart. "He's just rooting for the Dogs." Doug and Hart were roommates at UGA, and as an example of their camaraderie and fortitude, they spent 3 years as RAs at Russell Hall and lived to tell the story, though not all of them. "One of the best things that came out of my college years was the confidence that Terry instilled in me," says Doug. "I made the dean's list, and I had the legendary Earl Davis for taxation twice, first as an undergrad and then again in 1982 when I came back to get my master's. Dr. Davis was a former attorney and an FBI man, and he always taught his classes at 7:50 in the morning, which students hated. One day, when I got to class 5 minutes late and was trying to sneak into the back of the room, Dr. Davis said, 'Oh good, Mr. Benn is here. Now we can begin class.'" Doug met his future wife, the former Mickey Jones, at UGA, where she was a Phi Beta Kappa graduate in mathematics and computer science. Shortly after graduation, they got married and moved to Dallas, Texas, where Doug had taken a job with Arthur Andersen. "One of my Arthur Andersen clients owned 3 restaurants," says Doug, "and that was my introduction to the hospitality business." After a 10-year stint at Arthur Andersen in both Dallas and Atlanta, Doug took a job at Rio Bravo, where the company grew from 3 restaurants to 25 on Doug's watch before he helped orchestrate a sale of the company to Applebee's International. Doug also spent 10 years at Rare Hospitality, a publicly traded company where revenues quadrupled during his tenure as CFO, as the company grew from 125 restaurants to more than 300. Once again, Doug helped orchestrate the sale of his company, this time to the tune of $1.4 billion. "I've now been at the Cheesecake Factory for 7 years, says Doug, and this concept is a true American success story. It began in David Overton's mother's kitchen in Detroit, where she created such mouth-watering cheesecakes that she and her husband moved the family business to California. In 1978, David Overton opened the first Cheesecake Factory restaurant in Beverly Hills, and the company has seen annual revenues multiply exponentially from $52 million at the time of the company's IPO in 1992 to $2.1 billion in 2015. The company owns and operates 200 restaurants in the U.S. and Puerto Rico, and has licensing agreements with partners who operate 11 more internationally. Later this year, the first Cheesecake Factory will open in China at Shanghai Disney. "When people ask who our competitors are," says Doug, "we say everybody and nobody, because there's really nobody like us. First and foremost, there's the elaborate Cheesecake Factory menu. There are 250 items on our menu, and they're all made from scratch. None of our sauces, marinades, or dressings come out of a bottle," says Doug, who notes that the Cheesecake Factory posts an industry-leading $10.6 million in average annual revenue per restaurant, serving 90 million guests annually. Location is also key. "We love shopping. It's a magnet for our customers," says Doug. "So 90% of our restaurants are located in or near malls. In this day and age, when a lot of people do their shopping electronically, we bring people to the mall, so we're also good for other merchants' business. The Cheesecake Factory headquarters is located in suburban Los Angeles. And after some initial soul-searching, Doug and Mickey decided to try a bi-coastal lifestyle by renting a place in LA and maintaining their home in Atlanta, which is nestled into a nice residential neighborhood within earshot of the music emanating from the Chastain Park band shell. "We look upon our bi-coastal living arrangement as an adventure," says Doug, who lives 7 minutes from his office. Mickey spends a lot of time in California, but keeping the house in Atlanta was a wise choice because our daughter Kelsey, who works for the Container Store in Buckhead, can share the Atlanta house. The Benn's other daughter, Madeline, works for EY in New York, and the family makes it a point to do things outdoors together. "I'm a big hiker, and that's one of the great things about living in California," says Doug. "I can do 6 miles in the morning before work, and Mickey and I have visited all the national parks in California. Yosemite at least 10 times. Nominator Richard Courts IV praises Doug for his service on the Alumni board, and Doug and Mickey for their membership in Terry's Pinnacle Society. Another measure of Doug's allegiance is the lead gift that he and Mickey have made to Terry's Business Learning Community, where the Capital Markets Lab will be named in their honor. Doug is a huge Bulldog fan, and he makes a habit of taking the red-eye from LAX to Atlanta to make a noon kickoff in Athens. The Terry College is proud to present the 2016 Distinguished Alumni Award to Doug Benn.